Hey, Bellringer fans, it's Mr. Colback here, and yep, today I'm out of the office again today. Well, we're still working with cell membranes, and I'll give you a few things to do in class. I anticipate my return tomorrow for sure, but yeah, let's try to have a good day today, okay? All right. Hey now. Mr. Colback's class. It's Mr. Colback's class. You might learn a ton. It's Mr. Colback's class.
It's interesting too.
It's Mr. Colback's class.
And he's super cool.
It's Mr. Colback's class. All right, what do we know about the cell membrane already? I mean, we know a lot of things about it. We know it's made up of mostly lipid. It's got these proteins floating around in it. We call it the model. Yeah, that's right. Fluid mosaic model, right? Sometimes called the plasma membrane. And we know that the heads of the phospholipids are hydrophilic, while the tails are hydrophobic. And we've learned that it's not easy to get through the cell membrane. It's pretty tough for that little, as small as it is, right? So today we're going to look at the 3 ways to go through the cell membrane. This way is called diffusion, and it's for small things that are nonpolar, like oxygen and carbon dioxide, where the way diffusion works is like if you have a higher concentration on one side of the membrane and on the other, the particles will move until the concentration is equal. We like equilibrium a lot here on Earth, and we want it to basically become equal. So if there's 100 oxygen molecules on one side, they will move through until there's 50 on each side, and then they'll stop moving. They don't actually stop moving. They keep moving back and forth, but they'll keep the same balance. It's like we go from a high concentration to a low concentration until there's an equal concentration. Or that not a lot of chemicals want to diffuse through the cell membrane, but not all of them can get through, right? Like water is that great example of it's polar, so it can't get through the membrane. And so it does diffusion too. If you have 100 water molecules on this side and none on this side, water molecules will move through until you have 50 on each side through diffusion, but they have to go through a channel. So it's called facilitated, which means like helped out, facilitated diffusion. Here's some water moving. Now water, when it moves, it's got a special name called osmosis, and water will move in a special way to balance out concentration of other solutes. Okay, what that means is if, let's say there's a lot of salt on the outside and not much salt on the inside, water will move from the inside out to balance the concentration of salt. Okay, so water moves, it's called osmosis, and water moves to balance out the concentrations of other solutes in and around the cell membrane, trying to keep it equal on both sides. That's called osmosis, which is a type of diffusion. It's facilitated diffusion. Osmosis. Movement is called active transport. This is when you try to push things against the gradient. So if you have a low concentration on one side and a high concentration on the other side, and you want to push low to high, you've got to use energy, and that's called active transport. And that requires proteins, right? It requires hydraulic enzymes. It requires changing of this protein shape, but you get these like pumps that will push molecules through the cell membrane against the gradient, All right, so you need to know the 3. You've got, well, really there's 4, but 3 of them are very similar. Diffusion is just a movement of particles like oxygen and carbon dioxide from high concentration to low concentration. Facilitated diffusion is the movement of polar molecules from high concentration to low concentration, but they have to go through a channel. The movement of water is facilitated diffusion. That's called osmosis. And then finally, when you want to go against the concentration gradient, when you want to go from low to high, you got to use energy. And so you've got to push through a protein using energy, right? That's called active transport. So today in class, right, we're mastering the 3 types of, well, maybe 4 types of movement through the cell membrane. Simple diffusion, facilitated diffusion, osmosis, and active transport. You'll watch an Amoeba Sisters video about those things. And then your in-class assignment. Of course, there's some more notes. This time it's on a Google Slides of cell membranes. You can put together a cell membrane and you can identify pieces and stuff like that. All right, so have a good day. Again, I'm hoping that I'll see you tomorrow if everything goes well today. Yeah, take care. Bye now. Let's go.